Welcome back to Robin Minds. Now, we're going to be switching the conversation, still talking about Knorr and Lipton, the Thank You series. We're going to be looking at 12 big moments in Nigeria for 2020. It's been a crazy year, but in spite of that, a lot of interesting things still happened. And we're going to be talking Netflix today. How are you doing? So it's been a great year for film. Great and not so great. Let's put it that way.
Exactly.
And Netflix probably comes with the great side of things. We've had an original movie from Netflix before, Genevieve's movie. But Netflix finally came into the country. We have a whole team now that runs Netflix in Nigeria, and shows have been commissioned. How big an effect has that had on the industry, you think?
No, it's had a very big effect, especially for someone like me who had two films come on Netflix this year.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. But it's been massive in the sense that for a very long time Nigerians were not able to go to cinemas. And we're all locked up in our houses. A lot of people started working from home, so people reduce the contacts they have with a lot of people.
And streaming took over.
So streaming just took over. But for me, the biggest effect has been the selling of the Nollywood brand.
Yes.
In the sense that, I'll tell you, like on a constant, I get messages in my inbox from countries that
you would never have probably gotten
I've
to.
never, saying, "Oh, I saw Light in the Dark.
Yeah.
I saw Sylvia." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, okay."
Yeah.
I mean, I never had this effect until Netflix.
Yeah.
So it's been massive, and to think that we now have originals, coming up.
Yeah.
It's just been awesome.
I mean, I did have a conversation with someone who knows a lot about how the Netflix numbers work. And they said they came into Nigeria not necessarily because we had so many subscribers here, but they looked at when Nigerian movies were uploaded, the viewership across the world was crazy. And they're like, okay, there's something here, because for people to like what's coming out of here, we need to tap into this. So which is why I want to talk about money now. We've had a lot of conversations about, Nigerians. I mean, not all movies on Netflix are Netflix originals. There's been a lot of former movies that have come out in the past that have been sold to Netflix and all of that. And is the numbers game interesting yet? Or, we heard in the past about, other platforms, organizations that have come in and quote unquote ripped off, movie producers and film owners. Is that the case this time, you think?
So, because I'm also a business person,
Yeah.
I have to look at these things in numbers. And so, as compared to others that we have dealt with prior to Netflix, of course, Netflix is way higher.
Yeah.
So it's which is good news for producers like me. Albeit, by the time you now want to start comparing to contents in other parts of the world, maybe not so.
Still just a little behind.
Maybe not just a little, but but again,
But that also puts pressure on you guys to now up your game, quality-wise.
Oh yes. Well, yes, in the sense that, okay, for me, is the fact that, okay, now I have another avenue where I can make money for my content, and make better money than other platforms that we've had prior to now. But I think ordinarily it's a no-brainer that as time goes on, quality would improve. Because when I look at Nollywood 10 years ago and Nollywood today, come on.
Yeah, very, very true. Fair enough. We're going to be looking forward to all the great things that Netflix has to bring. Hopefully it does more for Nollywood, and that's what we all hope for.
This 12 Days of Christmas on Robin Minds is brought to you by Knorr and Lipton.
All right, another big moment this year. The Oscars are back in the conversation. And last year or 2 years ago, we had Lionheart's Genevieve's movie almost in the mix. And then it got disqualified because we heard it didn't particularly meet the criteria, for language. The Milkmaid. Very interesting movie, quite thought-provoking, and interestingly was done almost 98-99% in Hausa language. So that definitely qualifies it on that criteria. So I guess the rest will now be technicalities. But it's been submitted officially for Nigeria, and we're hoping it gets nominated, and we get to get in the mix. How are you feeling about that?
No, I'm very ecstatic about it. Knowing fully well that the Oscars is the biggest platform when it comes to movies. And for that we have a Nigerian film now that's passed that first stage, We're hoping it passes the other hurdles and get a nomination. And I think it's a good time for, in quote, foreign language movies, because Parasite opened a huge door, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And in the conversation, people saying, can it really get there? Like, hey, if Parasite can get there, why not?
Yeah.
So I'm very hopeful about it.
Yeah.
And that it doesn't just open the door for the Milkmaid, but now other films. Now people will be able to, well, if it gets to that point, now people will be able to, put more searchlight on Nollywood.
Yeah, and what I want to talk about is, talking about opening doors. Why don't we tend to do a lot of movies here in local languages? I know we have the Yoruba movie industry, there's Igbo, there's Kannywood, there's all of that, but I'm talking, the sort of quality we like to see, or the Netflixes, for example. We tend to do our movies here and we like to do it in English. Is this going to start shifting things, you think, maybe?
Well, maybe, but if I were to speak to, so why is it that we mainly do it in English? It's the rich. As a producer,
you're catering to a market.
As a producer, you're looking at, okay, so if I do it in English, how many people will I reach? If I do it in house, how many people will I reach? And if you have an opportunity to reach more,
but we also Parasite.
Yeah. So now, I think because when Lionheart was disqualified, in speaking to a lot of my colleagues, I know a lot of people started looking at it that like I actually have a movie I'm working towards, and it's going to be like 80% Yoruba.
Awesome.
But for me, that's because it's set in Egba land, and I feel like it doesn't make any sense for me to be making a movie that is set way back and they're speaking English.
But we're hearing stories now that Pidgin English could also qualify very soon as a foreign language.
Pidgin English is a foreign language.
Yeah. So I mean, there's also that. If you do a movie in Lagos with a regular middle class story, Pidgin English could be the language. I mean, I advocate a lot for local films because we watch a lot of these South African productions as well. Middle class movies, more than half of it is in Zulu, Tswana, Xhosa, or whatever the languages are. So it would be nice to see that happening here.
No, we do have a lot of Nigerian movies in local.
Yeah.
It's just that they are not, usually not in terms of quality of production.
Oh, of course, I know that, yeah.
But now, I guess a lot of people are beginning to go down that line now and begin to see what's possible. But I also understand, how it limits your reach and
revenue.
It's basically about the numbers.
Yeah.
Wanna get with you. Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show